Good evening. This is Adam Raoof of chessengland.com, otherwise known as Chess Patsa India. Let me just switch off the desktop. There you go. Tonight, I'm going to try an experiment, which is a simultaneous display. We're going to be doing it on lichess.com, and if you want to know what the link is to join the simul, check the chat on twitch.tv/Adam Raoof, and then you can chat directly to me. And also, if you could join in the simul, you can talk about the games. It is a bit of an experiment. I have no idea whether anybody would be interested. I can see I've already got one candidate, Chesspatzer Russ, which is fantastic. And I'm going to try and hang on until I get about maybe 5 or 6 players, and we'll see how it goes. So chessengland.com. If you have the time to go to chessengland.com, let's see if this works. Chessengland.com. I've got so much crap on my desktop, you wouldn't believe it. Okay, chessengland.com is my website. It's basically just the portal through which I advertise stuff that I'm involved with. You can see on the right hand side there's a calendar. Hi, I don't know. There's a calendar on the right hand side, and you can basically click on those links and find out a bit more about the tournaments that I'm involved with. So most of them are tournaments I'm running, and I run about 70 tournaments in a year. 70 tournaments, about 5,000 players overall, some of whom are playing in different events, but the same player. But 5,000 players overall, 30,000 graded games in a year, which is great fun, and I enjoy it. So you can join in one of those events. You don't have to play in just chess online. You can come and play in one of my events and see what it feels like. You might actually prefer it to playing online. I like a bit of both. But if you want to improve your chess, something like Hampstead, which is a weekend tournament at the time control of 60 minutes per player plus 30 seconds a move, is actually a really good way to improve. And it's very popular amongst improving juniors. So, they'll play in every section trying to improve their rating. Surrey Congress, just there at the end of October, that's something I'm the arbiter at that. I'm not the organizer. But if you click on that, you can find the link to the website, surreychesscongress.co.uk. The Blitz here, the first Thursday Blitz, of course, it's inspired by first Thursday, the first Saturday international tournaments in Hungary, and we do a first Thursday FIDE rated Blitz, 10 minutes per player per game every month, except for December when we have to take a break sometimes. We try and do it in December. I think there's only like 1 month in a year maybe when we can't actually do it on the first Thursday of the month. You can go to hendonchessclub.com, which is my club, and you can join in. You don't have to be a member of the club. It just costs you a bit more, £10 to join in, and you can play 6 rated games of chess and get a Blitz rating. So hi to Chesspatzer UK. If you want to be part of the simul, you have to click on this link. Let's find the link and put it in the chat to join the simul. I can see somebody's challenged me online. Let's have a look. Chess Wiltshire. And let's have a look. When do you want the challenge? Let's have a look. Join this. Um, okay, so the simul is going to be 30 minutes for the challenger, and I'm going to have, I think, 10 minutes more, and 30 seconds increment. Okay, so I don't care what color I am, so it's going to be random, and I'm just going to play, hopefully at least 10 people simultaneously. I can see we've got Chespatzer, Russia. So I've got at least one person who's joined, and I don't know. Chespatzer UK is dodging the bullet. Well, of course, the more people who play in it, the more likely it is you're just going to beat me. Because if you don't know Jack Tavillier, he's a strong enough player to beat me without having the benefit of 9 other people having a go. But it isn't. It isn't blitz. It is relatively slow, and so the point of this is so that I just don't stuff up too quickly, but also I might be able to make some intelligent comments about the games. Oh, that would be nice. And also, if you're interested in what else I do in chess, you can always go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Adam Raoof, and have a look at some live coverage of other events. I'm really trying my best to cover the events that I do live. It's quite hard. I am getting a lot of help from great people giving me advice, and I've got some money to buy some live chessboards, so I'll be doing that very soon. But and of course, I'm lucky because I do so many events, so it's really just sitting there waiting to be covered. Stuff like Hampstead, fair enough. Stuff like Golders Green, fair enough. But also, I do events for other people who are daft enough to ask me to be their arbiter, and I can cover their events similarly, either on video or live on Twitch, or with a live board, and that would be cool. Chesspatzer UK is saying, I want to do some commentary on my over the board stuff. This is just a warm up. Now, this is exactly what I want to do. I want to have my stuff streaming live. I want the board to be live, and I want somebody to commentate. Now, if I can't do it myself, which I think is a bad idea, I think it's better to have 2 people, as Jack has found out. But if I can't do it myself, I'd rather somebody like Jack did it. I don't necessarily want a grandmaster to do the commentary. I want I wouldn't say a chess patzer. I would say a club player, an ordinary club player. Okay, so if you're joining in the simul and you're not a chess patzer, but you're looking at the stream, I'm going to save it for people who are in the stream. If you're watching at the moment and you're in the stream, put your user ID in the stream chat so that I know who you are. So Sissa and Nico Ice, I don't know who they are. So I'm going to ignore them for the moment. I want to have chess patzers. No, Jack, you're not ordinary. You're extraordinary. So, Percy, you don't want to play. Okay. Why was it called Chess England? Well, there's a long story behind that. I'll shorten it for you. I was a director of the English Chess Federation, and they were thinking of renaming it. And they were talking about Chess England as a possible name. And there was somebody going around basically registering Chess England everywhere. everything except the website. And I just thought, well, I'm going to get the website to stop him doing that. And in the end, they decided, for various reasons, not to make the change, and I ended up with the website chessengland.com and .co.uk, and it didn't particularly bother me, but it seemed like a nice title for a chess organizer like me, who organizes an awful lot of chess tournaments in England, and it's pretty good, I think. So Blazero, and Chess Patzer Swansea, you should be playing in this simul. So let me just see if I can send a message. I have to work out how to send a message to Blazero, because I know he'd be interested. Blazero and Chess Patzer Swansea. I'm sure that I can do that. Let's just let them find me. And chess clubs near Chess Patzer Wiltshire. Okay, Chess Patzer Wiltshire, where are you? Literally. Wiltshire is quite a big place. So whereabouts are you? Because I mean, if you're stuck if you were to find out where your chess clubs are, okay, go to go to the English Chess Federation website, and on that site you will find a list of clubs. I think they have a map actually, and you can just search graphically where the chess clubs are. But I'm trying to remember who is a really strong player from Swindon. Let me just have a look. Swindon. There is a Swindon chess club. Here we go. Let's have a look at their website. It's quite nice. Let's try that. There you go. So go to Swindon's website and have a little look. They're pretty good. Chess Patzer UK says, Adam, check your phone, please. Great. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Checking. I'm checking the phone and I'm not. So, anyone who wants to play, follow that link. Jack, I realised what I was doing just a few seconds into that. So, Blazero, where are you? Come and join in. Now, Jack knows about these things. If I start the simul and I just play chess, can I still accept new candidates? Because otherwise it would seem silly to start with just 2 players, but I will, because we all want to just see me play chess badly. So I've got 11 viewers and I've got 2 people playing chess. So come on, this is easy. Once it's started, it's done. That's rubbish. That's rubbish. Can I have 2 simuls? Okay, that does seem a bit. I must say, chess.com seemed a bit more complicated. When you watch Simon Williams doing a simul, it is a bit dreadful. But I don't know. You are technically failing. So I've got Blazero. That's good. Chess Patzer Hell sounds good. I don't know anybody else, but you've got to go to this link. It's the URL just here. Click on the URL. I don't know, and do stuff. Just click on it and do stuff. There must be something fairly logical. I'll give it a few more minutes and see who joins in. because I like the idea of doing this. I think this is fun. I mean, obviously, if I were playing, you know, 5 or 6 players who are pretty strong, I would just embarrass myself. But I could accept, actually, I could accept if I have to start in about 3 minutes or something. I could accept people. Oh, Percy, no, be on the chat. Percy, don't play. Don't take this personally, but your chat is worth many, many more ECF points. It would be very, very nice for you and Chesspatzer UK to be on the chat. So I could accept these other guys who I don't know and just play a simul. So where is let's have a look. Who else was going to be on here? Don't know. I thought of sending out a tweet, but I thought, well, no. It's really for a first time. Let's do a Chesspatzer simul. Um, no, Percy, I don't want you to just batter me. Now you see this here. Okay, that's my logo, the knight, and I love my knights. Okay, and I've had a T-shirt printed. I've had several T-shirts printed with the Chess England logo. Whoops, there it is. And they're really nice, and I've had some really good feedback about them. So I might end up printing some for other people, but they're really good. Yes, Chesspatzer Hell. I mean that could stand for somewhere rather than that other place. So I've got 4 people. That's excellent. And I've got I don't know. Excellent. We'll put him in. And I don't know. Are you a Chesspatzer? Are you an official Chesspatzer? Would you like to be an official Chesspatzer? Jack, it's the other place. Jack, put the link to your website on the chat so that I don't know can and Chesspatzer Hell can have a look at your beautiful website. Okay. Give it, I've been online for 15 minutes and I think it must be about time. So we've got 5 people. That's a very respectable number. So 16 viewers, 5 people and 3 random who I don't know. Let's have a vote. Who says I should just start? Shall we? Now I don't know. I've seen I don't know before. That's interesting. I've seen I don't know before. So I don't know. You don't have an account. So we'll go with it. What do you reckon? Shall we start? Interesting. I've seen I don't know. I don't know. Where have I seen you before? You've been on the stream before and you've just opened an account with Lichess. But I think I've seen you on the stream. Who knows? I suppose the only danger of these things is oh yeah, my Chesspatzer logo. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. It's on there somewhere. Okay, just talk amongst yourselves for a second, because I know it's here somewhere. Here we go. And it's absolutely brilliant. I mean, all these logos are brilliant, aren't they? Just got to make it small enough to get it on the screen so that I don't end up obliterating the chess. So if I can just shrink it a bit, and then I can shrink it a bit more, and then I can put it up in the top right hand corner, which should please you, and then I can do that. Now, does that work? Can you see the Chespatzer India logo top right? Make it massive, yeah. I don't want it to obliterate the chat. I thought so. I thought so. So I don't know is good. So what do you think? Chespatzer India, can you see it? Just got to let the dog out. What kind of dog is it? Chespatzer Wilts. You know, as long as you can see it, I don't really care. Once I know that we've started and I'm not blotting out my face, obviously, then we're okay. Although at some point I might switch the Chespatzer India logo with my face so that there's not quite so much of my face. Right, I'm going to go with these people who are kind enough to add themselves to my simul. And I don't know, it should be on the top right hand corner of the stream. I can see it, so I know it's there. I don't know what I don't know is looking at, but you should be looking at the live stream. Go, go, go. Right, I've got the go, go, go. Good luck to everybody. Now, this is my first simul, so I'm just trying to work out what's going on this screen. It looks beautiful. And I'm going to play something, what have I got? 9 games. I'm going to play something different on every board because I believe that is appropriate. And then we'll see where we go from there. Aha. Blazero, we're going to play a Dutch. And then we're going to play a French. So we've got a few different openings, okay? So I'm happy with that. We've got a different opening on every board. If you haven't played a lot of different chess openings, you may not realize that actually quite a lot of chess openings they tend to converge. So c4 c5 can turn into d4 d5 c4. You know, you can get very similar positions, or you can get, as Jack would tell you, you can get Sicilian positions depending on what white does. And I'm gonna now I can't play the French here because I've played it on another board. So there you go. We'll see. What am I going to play in this position? I can't play a French and I can't play a Dutch and I can't play d6. So I've got to play something else, c6. Now, knight h3 from I don't know. Well, knights on the rim are apparently dim. And this could turn into a closed Sicilian. This is a Queen's Gambit and this is a Dutch. We love the Dutch. We love the French. I was playing the Dutch and the French before Simon Williams popularized them massively, and I've been inspired by his streaming and his books and his videos to keep playing them, but just playing them at a better level. Control d4, he's decentralized, so I'm going to try and control d4. And we're playing a Caro-Kann, but I'm going to play a slightly different version of the Caro-Kann. And here I'm playing a classical English. Okay, the London system. He's a fairly late arrival to London system. I've definitely been playing the London system at a much worse level for a long time. Now Queen f3. I don't believe anybody else is streaming, but if they are, you know, whisper me the link or something, or whatever you need to do, and we'll see how we go. Queen f3. I'll have a look at it. Queen f3 is not a good move generally. He's trying to put his bishop here and mate me on f7, so I'll spoil that. Now, knight f3 Buddha chess. I'm going to play bishop g4 and try and take your knight. Now, Blazero. That's a a rather flattering scoreline, so we'll ignore that. I am going to play a closed exchange French, and like a Caro-Kann, it is a Caro-Kann. but it's called a Gurgenidze system. This is a Queen's Gambit, and my opponent is giving me d4. And that last position is very similar to this position, only the colours are reversed. It's just basically I'm controlling d4 and d5 in these games. Okay, so how do you think I'm doing in this game? This is almost a dream, really, because he's decentralized his knight. He's put his queen on f3. I'm going to put my bishop on the long diagonal and exchange French. Well, maybe. We'll see. And I'll talk about I'll just play a few moves and I'll talk about the middle game a bit in just a second. So this is interesting. Okay, so hopefully he's not done this in order to just put his bishop on b3 and leave it out of the game. That would be terrible. And he could play e4. Blazero might be thinking about playing e4, but I can't really stop it. And actually, it's not so great. It looks great, but there's a drawback. So I'm slightly worried about now rook e1 check, so I'm going to castle. Just get safe and see what happens. Did Gawain stuff the Dutch today? Now, what line was it? Excuse me. Should have brought a beer or something non-alcoholic but liquid. What was the line? So I'm playing Chess Hell. I'm going to play a relatively quiet line in that game just to see what's going on. Bishop g7. This is interesting. Bishop f4 I've not seen before. Not seen that before. So I'm going to play Bishop g7, putting some pressure on d4. And he's played knight c3. This bishop is really on a limb here. Normally, if you're going to help to rescue it, you're going to play c3 and put your bishop on c2, which is not a bad place to put it. Okay, so we've got a mainline Dutch, and the main candidate moves here are a5. I can play queen e8, or I can play knight e4, which is Simon Williams' move. I'm going to play knight e4, which is Simon Williams' move. And in this position, I'm going to put my bishop on, not my queen, my bishop on the long diagonal, see what happens. So the classical Dutch, bishop g5, okay, good. I like that. So Chess Hell has played knight d4, so I could take it. What would be the point of that? The whole point of the English opening is to maximize the strength of this bishop. The idea is maximize the strength of the bishop by attacking black's queen side with your pawn. So the idea is you want to play b4 and attack on the queen side. Knight d4 doesn't really stop me pursuing that aim, so I'm going to play bishop d2, and then I'm going to play kind of rook b1 and b4. And I don't think that knight's going anywhere useful. I can't really see it doing anything useful. Okay, in this position, black has made a mistake. Can you see what the mistake is? There is a definite mistake in this position, a tactical error. Okay, I know what it is. If you can see it, you can put it in the chat. Okay, the mistake is I can play now bishop takes f7 check, and if he takes it, I go knight g5 check, discovering attack on the bishop, and then I win the piece back. Now he wants to make me on f7, which is a good ambition. I like that. I'm not going to let him, but I need to find out. I need to find a good move. If I played f6, he could play queen h5 check, maybe. F6 looks good. Queen h5 check, just g6. Or I could play queen f6 and try and swap off pieces. and then I can castle queenside, maybe. But moving the queen is not a great idea. So I'm going to play knight f6 because he can't play e5. And now he's got queen d2. So he's thinking about playing bishop h6 if I let him. Nice. This is a tough choice in this position. He's going to castle queenside. Castling queenside. If I played, if I played knight f6, then e5, and then knight e4. Difficult position. Difficult position. What am I going to play in this position? I suspect I have to be quite careful. But I'm going to take it. And if he castles, I'm going to play knight f6 and castle. Or maybe not even castle. Maybe I'm just going to let him do what he wants and play queen a5. We'll see. You can have a look at the other games like that, which is quite interesting. And you can switch. I just learning a bit here. You can switch by clicking on auto switch. So you forward the games. Now that's quite interesting. I've got a bad score against Chespatzer Wiltz. He's a good player. So I've got to be very careful. I do not want to be hacked, but I think taking an e4 is probably the right idea. And my idea in that position is to play, yeah, that's just a free pawn. That is just a free pawn. And he's not a Chespatzer, so he can't be any good. So I'm going to take it. See, if he was a Chespatzer, thank you, Chess Club Live. Chess Club Live is actually a website, and the Facebook group, a very good one. If I could trust Chess Club Live not to spam this chat with lots of links, I would make him a mod. But come on, let's play. Rook b1. He's going to go rook b8. He's thinking about b5, but he can't really play it. So I'm going to play rook b1. I have more chance of playing b4 than he does of playing. Oh, that was a good move. I missed that completely. So he's playing e5, and if I take it, this is en prise. That's a good move. Now I've really got to think. Okay, well, the only move I have is to play h6 and kick that knight. That's my move. And let's see if I can survive that. So in this position, I want to play e5. I could do it immediately. Can I do it immediately? No. So I need to play some preparatory moves, probably g6 and bishop g7, something like that. Or just knight f6 looks good, actually. Queen c2, so threatening to take on e4 twice, so I have to take on c3. And queen d3. I've just won a pawn on b4, by the way. I'm going to play bishop h5 with the idea of playing bishop g6. No, he's going to play knight e5. That's quite a good square. It's quite a good square, so I need to cover that with my knight. That just seems like far too helpful, considering that I just screwed up. Ban Nightbot. Don't ban Nightbot. Oh yeah, knight a5. But I've done it now. And I think this is okay. I think I might go for that. I might take it. Let's take it. And let's play that. That's boring enough. King d7. Well, he spotted my plan, but I'm not sure it's improved his position much. I don't want bishop to get trapped by e6. And I like my bishop, so I'm going to play bishop b3. And I'm going to play bishop d6. He can have the pawn. Queen takes bishop f6. You see, now I'm opposite his queen. I'm threatening to play e5, so that's not a bad position. E takes f6. Well, we'll swap bits off, I don't mind. Rook takes b7. Now he has to watch out because his rook is possibly going to get trapped. Or am I just talking monarchs? No, I think he might do. He might get trapped. So I'm going to go knight b6 and see what happens. Castles. Yeah. This is a tough one, this one. A tough one. So if I play knight f6, yeah. Chess Patzel Wiltshire is not allowed to listen because he can see that I haven't seen anything. He's good. He's too good. He's too good for me. But let's see if I can give him a good game. Okay. Well, I think in this position, I don't mind if he takes any 4 if I can swap queens off. And I don't want him to play bishop h6, so I'm going to go queen a5. And I'm going to take my pawn back. And he has very kindly allowed me to exchange queens there. a5, and I'm not sure about a5, really. Because I can play a3 and b4. And that seems pretty reasonable. Bishop takes c6. Now I thought he couldn't play that because I have moves, but possibly I don't have enough moves. Okay, well, I'll do that anyway. See what happens. Maybe I should move slower. Okay, that's fair enough. Not sure about a5 either. I'm going to draw more arrows now. I'm going to slow down and I'm just going to draw more arrows. Now I've got over the panic. I seem to have won a game. That's interesting. What game was that? How do I find that? Somebody resigned. That was very kind of them. Okay, so what am I? I am not a piece up, but he has these horrible pawns. So I'm gonna play f6, castle queenside, and try and win this pawn on h4. And in this position, my stated aim was b4. I can't really see that he's done anything to stop that. So if I play b4, takes it, this is on freeze. You see I can take it if he takes me. So I'm going to play b4. And then as stated, I'm going to castle, and then I'm going to put my pieces on the h file. Now this is a classic instance of somebody getting into a tangle just to grab a pawn. You know, I don't really care about the pawn, but I do want to smash up his kingside and maybe mate him. Meanwhile, I think his pieces are kind of stuck. I think. So I'm going to do that. And in this position, my opponent has played e6. So I've won a solid pawn. I wonder, I'm just going to castle. Play d3. Just develop my pieces, I think. Knight takes f3 check, and I think bishop takes f3 is fairly forced. And again, this is very interesting. In this position, Percy. What should I play in this position, Percy? I have seen a move, so I'm not cheating. Just have a look at this position, and if you've been watching the stream for 2 minutes, you'll have seen this trick in another game. This happens an awful lot with a bishop on c4. What is the weakest square in the game? In the opening and probably in the middle game, it persists. What is the weakest square? Knight e5 is a cool move, actually. Knight e5 is a cool move. Do you think he'll fall for it? I was thinking of something else, but actually knight e5, bishop takes f7, yeah, just because it's a more forcing move. But if I went knight e5, he could go bishop e6, and then I smash his pieces up, and I'm probably winning that. Probably. If I went knight e5 and he went bishop h5 to defend f7, I can play queen takes h5. The idea is with knight e5, I'm threatening bishop takes f7 mate, which is a bonkers way to lose. But I'll do it this way around because it's just easier. Knight e5 check, and then wins the bishop on g4. So knight c3, he's going to castle. I want to put my rooks on the h file and win this pawn. So I'm going to play bishop b4. G takes f3 was forced, and his pieces are in a bit of a pickle, but he is almost threatening to win this. I mean, if he takes it at the moment, knight takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes. There's also problems down this diagonal. I could discover an attack. So he might be tempted to make a mistake on d5. Can I get away with playing bishop b8 and then threatening queen d6 with mate on h2 or queen takes c6? Can you see that? If I played bishop b8, I think I can probably get away with that. Let's do that. So my opponent's played king takes f7, knight e5 check, and then he has to move the king, and I win the bishop on g4. Yeah, Percy, I actually prefer yours just for aesthetic reasons. Now in this position, Simon Williams says if you can get in e5, you are equalized. You've equalized. If not, you're better. So I'm going to do it because my bishop on f6 is there for a reason. That's interesting. a3. Okay. Well, I would play bishop d6 and try and get rid of that bishop, but he takes it and plays knight b5, so I'm just going to run away. Bishop b7. Okay, so what we've got here is an interesting choice. I don't really want to give away that bishop. It's the key to protecting these squares around my king, so I don't really want to give away that bishop. But on the other hand, chess patzer hell is not giving me a great choice. So I could play e4, or I could just take on b7 and then take on c5 or a5 and I win a pawn. That seems to be the right way to do things. Knight g7, I'm going to carry on with my development. I can play h3 and just pick up that bishop. Actually, that might be a wise idea. Or play d3. No, I think h3 might be the right idea. Because his light squared bishop is... Percy's in bed. Okay, king goes to e. Remember, he can't castle. I'm taking my piece back. Knight b5, yeah, I can see what you're after. He's after that pawn. I'm going to play e5 just to block this diagonal. And now I'm going to take on... Now, which way do you take? Do you take on a5 or do you take on c5? It's still a pawn. I was almost going to take on c5 automatically, but actually, if I play takes on a5, he can't take it back. And maybe I can play a6. I don't know. I'm not going to do that, am I? Either I do this, I take here, and then I take here and exchange off some bits, and we're left with two a pawns, and I've got a c pawn running, or I take on here and here, and I'm left with a passed a pawn. That seems like a better idea. Let's do that. So, rook e1. He definitely wants to take that back. Definitely wants to take that back. pawn. If I go knight f6, bishop h6, am I worried about that? Am I worried about bishop h6? Or should I play knight d7, rook takes e4, and then knight f6 with the idea of attacking the rook on e4? Russian Yukon says, I have to learn the Slav or something because with my knowledge I've got no chance. It's never too late to learn a new opening. I recommend there's several things you can do to learn a new opening. You can get a really nice book, or you can look at something like chessable.com. I'm going to just put that here so you know how to spell it, chessable.com. Chessable.com is really good and extremely easy to use. So should I play bishop e6 here with the idea of taking on a2? That doesn't seem very sensible. He has left d4 hanging by playing rook e1. That shouldn't be good. So I wonder if knight d7 is an idea. No, actually, I tell you what, I think bishop c4 is a good move for him. So I want to cover it maybe with bishop e6. I'm not really interested in the pawn on a2. I just want to stop him playing bishop c4. And then if he plays rook takes e4, I'm going to go knight f6 with a tempo. Let's try it. Queen a8. Okay, so he couldn't take back, but I can now win some material because he can't. Can he take back on here? If I play rook takes b6, he has to take it. He can't play queen takes because I go rook takes b7. So I think I may have won a pawn. Rook e1, missing this move. Queen d6, possibly missing this move. We'll show you that in a second. So I have to take that. He's played bishop e3, and my aim is to attack this pawn. So I'm just going to go rook h5 and then double rooks. How's that? What do you think? Is that David Hayden? David Hayden from, well, random club in Essex. Okay, taking on e5, I have to take it. Bishop takes f3, I will take it. Queen takes a3. David is the strongest person watching this chat, if it is David Hayden, without a doubt. Okay, so now I'm a pawn up. It's a solid pawn. How do I progress this? Possibly by exchanging off queens with queen a4, or something like queen a1, maybe? Something like queen a1 exchanging off queens looks good. I'm going to do that, even though my rook ends up on a1, and it looks a bit odd. Rook d1 threatening the queen. Now, do I go to queen e8 and then h5, or do I go queen e7? I've had a position like this before, and I went queen e8 to h5 and then e4, attacking his king side. Let's do that. That looks good. Knight d4. Okay, so he might get my bishop, but that's all he's getting. Queen f2, and then I'm going to play d3 and bishop e3. I just have to watch out for. Oh, I have to watch out for bishop here pinning. But I can play queen f2, and then d3, and then bishop e3. I think. Does that look sensible? Okay. Yep, David. You should try streaming. It would be great. And if you want to try streaming and commentating with Chesspatzer UK, whisper him your email address, or I'll give him your email address. Okay, so there is a simul against Simon Williams. I can't play in it. When is it? When is it? Remind us of the dates, and I will plug it. Oh, A3. Okay, so he was worried about me playing Bishop takes A2, and to be honest, I wasn't really going to play Bishop takes A2, but it wasn't a bad feint, fake move. Okay, so if I go knight, you notice I'm not letting him play Bishop H6 yet. I don't mind him playing it in a little while. Okay, so I can go knight A6 and then rook D8, and this pawn looks really weak. That looks like a good idea because I've also got moves like B5, B4 coming up. I just have to watch out for tricks with this knight move. So I'm going to play knight A6. What would I do if he takes on E4? If he took on E4, I would be obliged to exchange off. And then my knight would be on a stupid square and it couldn't really come back to C7. Okay. Maybe not. I'm not sure I can play Jack in the simul, but if you plug it, is there a link to it here? David Hayden would be a pretty good candidate for a victory in that, since he's about 230 already. His grade is huge. Okay, knight D7, and then he takes, and then I can castle even after we swap queens off. I'm going to do it. It looks fairly sensible. Okay, so he didn't see this. I can win a piece, or I can just take on H2, and that looks, like a fairly good idea. I can probably do both, actually. I might play rook takes C6 first. Oh, it's tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay. So I love my knight. Maybe if I play knight H5, queen H2. No, I need my light squared bishop back. That's what I need. Well, I'm going to take that because it's there. D5 with the idea maybe of if I take it, he takes back with the knight and then it's pinned against this rook. So that's a clever idea. Very clever idea. But I have got a very powerful passed pawn. You've got to really think quite carefully about that. You've got to think quite carefully about these positions. You see, if I could get some control of this queening square, I could just push that pawn and win material. So let's say I fall into his trap. I take it. Is this Percy? And then he takes it, which is the threat. And then I fall into the trap with knight takes, and he has to take the rook. Now I've got my knight and I've got bishop, and I've got knight takes e7 check, king moves, and then I've got knight c6. If I get my knight to c6, there is no way he can stop me playing b7 and b8. I've even got bishop f4, so I'm gonna do that. Let's try it and see what happens. Okay, so he's now threatening knout, but neither am I. I've got to find a way to break through to his king. Is there a way to? Let's have a look. Can I skip a game? Is that something you can do on this simul? Possibly I can click off the auto switch. And then how do you move on to the next game? That would be interesting to know. So if anybody knows how to do that, I might try that. I seem to have won 2. So I've got 7 ongoing. Okay, good, not bad. What is White's threat? Not really a threat, but this is looking a little weak. So, I see a trick. Not quite a trick, but if I go queen h3 check, he has to play king e2, because if I go queen h3 check, king g1, well, I can mate him. We'll see. And if he goes king e2, I go queen h3 check to e6 check, and then take on c6. Boom, done. Let's see what happens there. Bishop d2, maybe coming to c3. Well, I'm going to play knight c6 to cover e5. Knight e6 threatens to take, and then play bishop d4, killing me. So I'm going to play d3 so I can play bishop e3. I think that's safe. I hope so. I'm falling into this trap. Have you noticed? I am falling into this trap. So knight takes d5. That's pinned against the rook. But I'm going to fall into the trap and take it. And keep my fingers crossed that I haven't screwed up. Okay, now here's the important one. Chess Patzer Wiltshire, if you're watching this, I respect your ability. So I'm going to have to think quite carefully about what to play here. I'm tempted to castle queenside, but that could be dangerous. But then I can play knight f6 and kick the rook away. And also I wouldn't really have much play on the queen side, because I can't play b5 in a position like that. That would be dreadful. This is a recruiting platform for chess patzers and Chess England aficionados. So if you want to play chess online, Chess Patzer, let's find the link. It's on here somewhere. Jack will oblige. It's on here somewhere, and he'll do it. And if you're interested in playing chess over the board, well, you know where to look. chessengland.com. Okay, so if I castle queenside, has anyone seen this mating pattern where you play queen takes c6 check and then bishop a6 checkmate, with the bishop covering this diagonal and this bishop covering this diagonal? I do not want to fall into that beautiful mate, and there are varieties of it, like with the knight move and then knight takes a7 checkmate. That would be cool, but unfortunately queen takes d2 is check, so he has to answer it. I see. Well, you know, I think it's a free country, and the internet is free, and I think people will choose, you know, what suits them, and I wouldn't worry about it too much. I would worry more about castling queenside in this position, so I'm going to play knight f6, and I haven't got a computer, so I have no idea whether that was the right idea, but we'll find out afterwards. In this position, he had to play king e2. Did you see, if he goes king g1, then I go bishop h2 check, king h1, bishop g3 check, king g1, queen h2 check, king f1, queen f2 mate. That's a very common mating pattern, but here I'm going to go materialistic and go queen e6 check, and just win a piece. Don't time anyone out. Let's just give them a chance to redeem themselves. So bishop c3, that's good. There's pressure on this pawn, but I've got it covered, and I'm gonna bring my queen to a more active square now. Rook takes e6. Now I knew he was going to do that. I haven't got any choice. Let's take it. I knew he was going to do it, but I did it anyway. That's a very good line. So here I'm going to go for my plan. Knight takes e6 check. That's interesting. We're back to it already. Bishop c4. And I guess I could grovel with knight f8. I could grovel with knight f8, or I could castle, in which case I'm getting attacked with Harry. difficult, difficult. I'm not totally convinced about the sack, but I am impressed by it because it takes a principled stand. I can play e5 actually, and if he takes it and take it back with the knight, that is a possibility, although it's not particularly good, but it is a possibility. I could also play knight d5, and that is probably a lot safer, with the idea of bringing the other knight to f6 maybe, but just blocking him. Yeah, knight d5 looks sound. If he takes it with the knight, I'll swap queens, and if he takes it with the bishop, he's giving a really good piece away. Now rook f8. I'm going to play bishop e3 just to block that diagonal. So in this game, king g7, it doesn't matter which way he goes. I'm going to play knight c6. What is he going to do in that position about b7 and b8? I'm not sure he can get back in time to stop me. Okay, so king f1, and I'm just going to play that one more time, just because I can, because I just want to repeat moves. When you're winning and you have control of the board, sometimes it's good to repeat moves just to gain a bit of time. But I'm not doing it too many times because that would be a draw by Perpetual. And as Perpetual knows, that's not the way to end a game like this. So I am winning. And everybody else is thinking. That's why it's not moving. I wondered, okay, wow, I have finally reached a position where 7 people are playing and they're all thinking. Thank God for that. They're all thinking. So he's gone back. Okay, he stopped thinking. I'm going to take the piece. Can't be the end of the world. And everybody else is still thinking. This is fantastic. And when are we doing an over-the-board tournament? Do you mean if we are going to go and play somewhere? I don't have that many free weekends, but I want to go and play in a chess tournament. This is true. There's got to be a time when we both have a moment where we can go and play chess. It's not one of my tournaments, preferably not one I've ever been to before. Chess Patzer Wiltshire. I'm glad you did the rucksack. I'm really impressed. I mean, who knows? There's no point in saying, is it correct? Is it not correct? It's just a move. Okay, in this position, I'm not sure about my next move. No, it's a positional sacrifice. The Russians were the ones who introduced the idea of a positional exchange sacrifice. Before Russians came to the West, we just thought of the exchange sacrifice as a prelude for checkmate. But what the Russians proved countless times, and players in England only discovered by reading Russian chess magazines, was that you can sack the exchange positionally, and the win will come very slowly, very gradually later in the game. So you've got 2 bishops, you've got a solid position. I don't have any attacking chances. I've got to hang on to the position. If I played knight b6, for instance, that would be a bad idea. I think white just plays bishop d3 and just develops a kingside attack. So I've got to think quite carefully about what my next few moves are going to be. This could be the difference between winning, losing, drawing. Do I want to castle kingside? Bishop h6. don't know. He's going to play bishop h6 anyway. And then what? h4. Harry. But I do want my rook on the f-file, and I can't castle queenside. Yes, Petrosian played defensive exchange sacks, but there were other players who played aggressive winning exchange sacks. And when you look at it now, they look fairly obvious to the modern viewer. But in those days, it was revolutionary. And I've discovered, because I've got a few Russian friends who tell me about Russian language chess books that haven't been translated into English. This is something that Russians invented, the concept quite early on, and we only discovered it fairly late. Now I'm looking at my screen, and it looks like Blazero is streaming. Is that right? That little symbol, Blazero, looks like he's streaming in the bottom right hand corner. That's good. It's good to have more than one person streaming. Right, this may look crazy, but I'm going to castle because I want to develop rook against queen. It is. I'm lost. Yeah. Yeah. Is that your position? Let's have a look. Knight b5. Well, it's not going to help him much now, is it? I'm just going to take on c2. I don't think I'm being... You've got to watch out in these positions where your opponent has two rooks for mating attacks on the back rank. If I can exchange off one rook, that would be nice. So how am I going to do that? How am I going to exchange off one rook? Can't see it at the moment. So I'm going to do that with the hope he'll take on f6. Yeah. So chess hell. Can't stop this. I'm going to queen the pawn, and it's difficult for him to do anything about it. Now this position is really common in the Dutch. We play this a lot in the Dutch. This kind of position with this phalanx of pawns. And I think what I want to do is develop this last piece and then play e4, exchange off on f6, and maybe push this knight away and try and mate him on the h-file, something like that. The other thing I can think about doing is playing f4, but either way, that is definitely a developing move that has to be played. And I'm also attacking on c4. So bishop g3, I'm really... Okay, if I had any criticism, I'm not sure I have a criticism, but if I had any criticism, it might be that. I don't know. It's too early to say. But just, my instinct is play bishop h6 and play h4 and just hack. But it may not be that there is a hack. So now I've castled and I've got my lovely bishop on this diagonal. I do want to play b5 and b4, and I just want to crack on with an attack. I don't think there's another sensible move. So maybe b5. When I play b4, he has to take it, and then I've got the b file, or he has to play the knight somewhere, e4, and then it's pinned against my queen. The pawn is pinned against my queen. Got to think quite carefully about that. But then I can play rook b8. No, this is guarding that square. Okay, so what else have I got? If I play knight f6, I could play c5, and then I could get on with attacking down the c file. That is a move. Let's do that. If you get me, knight f6, and then I'm going to play c5. I have to support d5. Now I've got my queen, so I should be winning. I should be winning this. Take it with the rook, so I've got the f file. And he goes g5 because he's got a pin here, which is a good move. But I've got a counter pin. If I go here, his pawn is pinned against his bishop. So I could do that, or I could just play f5 and be a killjoy. I'm going to go queen g3 because that's a good square for the queen. b3 covers c4. And perpetual stalemate. Your game is a very instructive one. So now I've got a choice. I can play f4 or e4. f4 takes, rook takes, and then I'm coming down the f file, so he's never going to do that. And if he doesn't do anything, I can also play bishop h3 and try and attack him on the queen side. That's got to be a sensible idea. So takes with the e pawn, let's say, and I take with the e pawn, and he takes on f6 with the bishop, and I take rook takes. I'm still coming down the f file, and I'm defending my bishop. That doesn't look too bad. Is it too early? There is always time. There is always time. Oh, no, I've just seen something else as well. Right, if I play f4, I am also threatening something horrible like bishop g4, actually. I should have played that last move. That would have been a lot sharper. f4 with the idea of bishop g4, but now we'll see. f3. Okay. I think black is just slightly faster with his bits. Got to do that. Knight takes a7, yeah, fair enough. I'm not that bothered. Do I want to just exchange off a few more pieces? No. I'm going to go knight c4 first. Knight c4 first doesn't look too bad. And then I can bring my rook to, I can either take on f3, or I can play rook a6, and then rook takes a2, which looks all right. Am I worried about this move? Not really. He's not really achieving much on f7, but it does look quite scary. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so in these sort of positions, you don't want to end up with queen against rook. That's a bit too technically foul. But you do want to centralize your pieces. So I'm going to play bishop f4 with e5 in mind. I would like to swap off that bishop. It's his only decent piece. So in this position, if I went bishop g4, that's quite dangerous, but this is even more dangerous, I think. Yeah, okay. So now, let's have a look. Yeah, chess pats are hell. You know, the funny thing is, chess pats are hell is actually a really good handle. I'm not really sure where hell is actually geographically, but no, actually no, it's in the north of Norway, I think. It's in the north of Norway, isn't it? Let's say that. So if I look at the bottom here, chess pats are hell is probably objectively lost. That's quite hard to come back from. Discorp is lost. I don't know, didn't last very long. I don't quite know what happened to him. Not that. You see, these guys who aren't chess patsers do not have the staying power. He just gave up. Well, I'm respecting Sartorium 2, who is still going. So I've got 17 minutes. Wow. Let's see. It's actually quite difficult to see what I can play after b4. And then if he just moves the knight, this takes on d5 or plays knight e4. I can't take on a3 because I am pinned on this diagonal, which is very annoying. So I have to be very careful about that. Timing is everything. I've got some nasty threats. If I can get in c5, it would have been quite useful, but it's a bit late to worry about that. I could take on c3. Yeah, I could take on c3 with the knight, and then if he takes with the queen, I'd exchange off queens, obviously. Oh no, e6 is still hanging. got to worry about that. Yeah, you don't have to stream. I mean, actually, it's almost as entertaining to force other people to stream and then chat, just slag them off in the chat. As I've discovered, it's much easier to chat than it is to play chess and talk some sense simultaneously. That is the real simul. Is talking sense. Do you not think Discorp is using an engine or something? No, no one's using an engine. No one cares that much. Let's be honest. All right, seriously. I mean, what am I going to do in this position? I want to play b4. Ah, no, I can't. I want to be bishop h6 would be nice, but I can't do that either. I could play knight h5 with the idea of something to f4. I don't know if that works because I haven't got enough pieces on it. I really have to play b4 and then maybe move my queen. Ah, that's the move. That is the move. Okay, so if I move my queen and then play a5 b4 maybe, or a5 a4 and then b4, that has got to be an idea. So I could also play c5 with the idea of b4, but that's a bit risky. Got my nice knight on d5. Okay, we'll have a think about that. If I play queen b6 and a5 and b4, he goes knight a4. So maybe I want to play knight. I want to play b4 now. Yeah, maybe. Difficult. Very difficult. So if I got 7 games ongoing, it's difficult to tell. It seems to say 2 wins, no draws, no losses, 7 ongoing. And if that's true, then that's good stats. Yeah. Knight h5 doesn't look right, but do you know what? It's a very good bishop. It's annoying me. I want to play rook b8, and I can't because his bishop is in the way. So maybe that is the move, but for different reasons. Knight c6 just loses a piece, so I'll have that. And bishop d4 is a good move, but it does drop a pawn, I believe. Now it's not pinned. And he's played bishop e1. That is a good move. Yeah, if he loses that bishop, I think he's definitely getting stuffed. But now, can I just play b4? No, he takes on d5 and then wins. Yeah, and then wins the queen. I mean the pawn. So, can I play? My other plan was to play something to f4 and just exchange off some pieces. So if I went knight f4, he takes it. That doesn't look too good. Interesting. But I can play rook takes. No, I've got to double my. Ah, I see. Okay. So now I've got to play. I've got to move my queen and get something on f4. That's what I'm going to do. Bishop takes f6. Well, rook takes f6 with the idea of keeping on this file is the move. And even though I have a flattering score against Blazerow, I've got to think really carefully about that. I don't know if I'll beat you in under 35 moves this time. I'm just playing chess. Believe me, if it were up to me, this game would be a lot more boring than it is. So it's credit to you that it's worth watching on a stream. So my plans for the weekend don't include chess unusually, but I'm hoping to do a bit more streaming this week. It's a question of when. I'm supposed to be in a team, a quiz team tomorrow with another chess player called John Sargent, who runs the Imperial College chess tournament, which is fantastic. That's what I'm hoping to do. Now, that will stop me. That will stop me playing chess online for a while. So knight g5 or knight c5 they look really good. I mean, I'm stuck with that. Maybe I didn't play that quite as accurately as I should. Who knows? But my idea was to play knight c4 and then take with the queen. So I'm going to do it. The idea being that if I get the queens off, I might actually be able to use my exchange. It's not that easy. So knight e5. I don't really think he's got much here. I've just got an extra pawn, so I'm going to exchange off material. When you're ahead on material, what you should do is try and exchange off like for like. And then maybe I've got these 3 pawns here against this 1 pawn in the endgame. And that's what I'm going for. No, I think the Chess World Cup was really good, and you needed to have a handicap. It's just you had to experiment with the nature of the handicap. And what Jack did was he did what most people just don't do, which is he just organised something massive and ambitious and experimented with the handicap. Whereas, which is the better way of doing it, most people just would never have got around to organising it. So good for him. And I think he'll just refine it, as he said. Now, I'm going to kick this knight away because it is quite annoying. It's got a very good square. Kicking it away now. Too big of a challenge, but there had to be something definitely. And it's the old handicap is that time handicap, and these days I'm not sure that really makes a lot of difference. The stronger players can play all their games in a minute if they have to. The very strong players. I don't think it proves a lot because you can move fast, but that handicap was a proper intellectual challenge, and I say that because I failed it. So I don't know what that says about my intellect, but I failed it massively because I really wanted to win games under 35 moves. But I guess you can get a winning position in under 35 moves, but it's difficult to win. Now, what's this? King D1. Now, King D1. King D1. I don't know what to say. King D1. King D1. Okay, he's running away from the obvious queenside attack, but is this weakness enough to compensate him for the fact he's being attacked down the D file? And I could probably play knight G2 here and just play knight E3 check. That can't be bad, can it? That can't be bad. There's no trick here, is there? No. Let's do it. So the knight has moved, and what am I? I am a couple of pawns up, which is good. And this is under attack, which is not so good. So maybe I'll play. No, H4 looks a bit iffy. Yeah, okay, maybe that wasn't the best move. Maybe that wasn't the best move. And then if he takes on there, he's going to have knight takes H3 check. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. But if I play queen G3, yeah, okay, queen G3, and then I lose the pawn on D4 with check. Oops. Okay, concentrate, Adam. Concentrate. Yeah, no, I agree. I would find it easy to win games given any amount of moves. But once you start putting a limit on it, it's really hard, really hard. And I'm not sure I'm up to the job, but we'll see. So I might have given my d4 pawn away against Sartorion 2. Let's try not to lose against Chespatzer Wilts. Bishop g3, yes, fair enough. The bishop is on the diagonal again. Can I come back to f4? Takes, bishop takes, queen takes, bishop takes e6, check. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Can I go knight e3 check? And then put my knight on f5, which looks like a nice square. Probably I can, but I can also move my queen. Where to move it? Where do you move it? Where do you move it? Okay. Somebody spammed us. It's very sensitive, that is. Now I can play e5 as well. And if he takes it, I've got knight e3 check. No, actually I should play knight e3 check first and then play e5. Let's do that. And he's still thinking, and he did not play queen takes d4 check, which was a free pawn, which is very kind of him. So now I'm just going to try and swap everything off. King c1, and now this is really tricky. I can't play e5 because queen takes e3 and this is pinned against the king. Wow. Okay, but I can play knight c4 at some point and open up the b file. That would be nifty. How am I going to do that without losing all my bits? Okay, so defend e6 and then play knight c4 next move. Do that. Okay, Blazero. That's all right, good. No one gets banned unless they really have done something criminal. So now knight d4, threatening to take here and play bishop d5 looks quite nice. It's a good move. I guess I've got to take on d4 and then I can play f3, possibly putting Blazero in a box. But I really want to get rid of his light squared bishop. Really want to get rid of his light squared bishop. So maybe if I played bishop d7, he might take on c6, and then I would end up exchanging off that bishop. Maybe he just played bishop d5 check. That's annoying, isn't it? So if I take on d4 and then play something else. So f4. Was I expecting f4? No, I wasn't expecting f4. And I can follow through with my plan, such as it is. 3 games ongoing, so I think I'm coming to the point where I might not. I wonder. Okay, so in this position, I can open up the f file, or I can play f3 and put his bishop in prison. Can I keep him there? Well, we'll see. I'm going to try it. And then if he goes rook h4, that's quite a dangerous move. Ooh, with h7 in mind. Oh, okay. Very dangerous, actually. Then I might have to swap queens off. Don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. So he's threatening bishop takes. Or is he? I can play rook h6 at any time. And I can play takes on g3 at some point, but not the other way around. If I play that and then play rook h6, he goes rook h4 again. We don't like that. They are using their time very well. I've been playing nine games. I could have played more or less, actually, because some of these guys aren't chess patzers, but we forgive them. There's always time. Okay, I'm not really worried about the pawn on b7. I am more worried about mating black or getting some action down the f-file. If I play rook h6 first and then take on g3, this is a really weak pawn. That cannot be a bad idea. So we'll see. c6. He's giving me time to just improve my game. Improve it. Knight c5. Now I'm covering e6, but I can't play e5 now, which is what I wanted to play. Can I play e5? Hey, that's a good point. I could just play e5 anyway. There are positions like this where you it looks like you can't play a move, but in fact you can sacrifice material. Like I could play e5 and just bring my queen out to a more active square. Bear that in mind. As long as I can play e5 physically, I have that opportunity to bring my queen to a more active square. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, what can I do to attack his king? I've got c3. He just takes it with the knight. Just takes it with the knight. I've got bishop h6. Bit of pressure. Rook f1 looks forced, actually, because I can play e5 in that position and then bring my queen in. What is he going to do if I play bishop h6? Not sure. Actually, that's quite a nifty move because it's got a tactical reason. So, like to play king e7. Don't care. Just play c3 and wait. Maybe I'll play rook f4 and then double the pieces on the f-file. So two very interesting games, and this one, which is not so interesting, but we'll see how it goes. So rook f1. Now this is the moment where I either completely stuff up or I play something brilliant. Usually stuff up. So I have got the move e5. This is pinned. This is pinned. And my queen can then leap into action and do some damage. But is it enough? Is it enough? And I've got c3 at some point. And this pawn is really just in the way. So you know what? It might just be the time to move the pawn. That's the idea. e5. And then maybe queen h3, queen g4, or queen f5. Who knows? Would be nice. Would be nice. Can't see any other way of getting some action. Tricky. So I want to, he hasn't got a rook, so I want to pressurize that pawn with all my pieces. So what I really want to do is play rook f5 and then bring this rook to f8, and I can't do that because the queen's in the way and the queen is blocked by the pawn. So this is the point. I want to attack that. So I want to play e5, sack that, move the queen, with tempo, and then play rook f5 and rook af8, or rook f6 and rook af8. No, rook f7 or something, rook af8. That's what I want to do. Do it. Okay. Rook takes f4 is interesting. Laser row has given me queen takes h2, which I'm on a bound to take it. E5, well, we'll just go rook f6, king f1. Now then, the question is, how do you mate somebody in this sort of position? I can't really, can I stop him running away and then play queen h1, queen h, oh, I can play bishop h3, and then if he takes it, then I think he probably is getting mated. I can't see a direct mate, but that looks quite good. Looks quite good. We're still level in material. If he takes me, if I do that and he takes me on h3, then I can go queen h1, check king e2, and I'm winning the rook. So let's do that and see what happens. Takes e5, queen h3 with tempo, knight d8, and I'm going to double my pieces on the f-file and see what happens. What do you think? So Guy in Box, 1600, 1700, not bad. Have you played chess, Guy in Box, over the board? If you've played chess over the board, that would be interesting. Yeah, bishop h3. Maybe there was a better move, but I couldn't see it, and I feel on the bound to play the best move that I can find, and that was the only one I could find. So rook f2. Now, this is the moment when my theory goes into action. Can I double my rooks and then take on f4? If I go rook f5, let's say, and he goes knight d4, I can take on f4 because he's not guarding it with the knight. Takes, and then you have to take with the rook. And I've got, I haven't got queen f1. Damn it. That's annoying. But if I go rook f5 and knight d4, c3 is annoying. c3 is annoying. I might just give back the exchange. Actually, that might even be the best move. If I just go rook f5, knight d4, double rooks, knight takes c6, knight takes f4. Yeah, let's do that. He's gone that way. Bishop takes h3. Now I can either mate him queen h or he runs away. And if he runs away, I might be able to catch him in the center of the board. Do I want the rook? Do I want to mate him? Queen h1, check, king e2, rook e6, can't do that. Rook e8. Then he plays rook e4. He can't do that because my queen's on h1. Okay, that looks good. And then maybe I can play rook d6. I'm chasing him across the board. Well, that's interesting. I can do a combination of both, actually. Let's go for mate. Let's go for mate. So knight e6, stopping me playing rook f8. Very annoying. Very, very annoying. And defending f4. Very annoying. So what do we do here? I think the answer is you have to give up the exchange. You have to give up the exchange. Oh, no, I've got a tactic. I've seen a tactic. Because this is pinned and this is attacked, I can play rook takes e5. Rook takes e5 looks quite good. Rook takes e5, queen d4 is tricky. And then I just move my rook again. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm not sure I had anything else. King e2. And now his king is sort of trapped. Let's give him a check. And we don't mind swapping off bits. Let's see what's happening here. Yes, if you play over the board and you find that you play too quickly, it's probably because you're playing a bit too much blitz chess online. I mean, playing chess, anything like 5-minute chess, is probably not a great idea. Knight g5. These are really tricky moves. Blimey. Really tricky moves. So knight g5. Now he's threatening to take on e5. So if I took it on g5, he has to take it with the pawn. And then my rook is hanging. My rook is hanging, but I can play rook back to f5, which doesn't look too bad. I could just play... No, my queen's hanging. Got to take it. Got to check him. Is there anything else? Got to check him. Got to exchange off. Let's see what's happening. F takes g5. And now rook f5, maybe just try and exchange off that last rook. It's quite a dangerous piece. Let's do it. Now, Blazer has run away. Lives to fight another day. Not totally sure that I've got anything resembling an attack. But what I do have is I have the ability to double rooks and maybe threaten rook d3. If I can come in here and maybe win something along that file. Now we're just bringing the king in. I felt getting more game experience would help me. Now I never feel completely lost in a position. That's good. But I promise you, if you play the way things go, what I've observed in my tournaments is improving players start off playing blitz, and then they start playing rapid play, and then they go to Hampstead and they play longer games, and then maybe they go to a tournament like the British or Hastings or the Isle of Man and they play one game a day, and they find that generally the more time they have, the more they can see. Basically, they get to employ interesting ideas. And whereabouts do you live, Guy in Box? What kind of area of the country, if you live in the UK at all, which is not strictly obvious? So I'm going to play that. And he's played rook e1. He wants to play rook f8. Check. Maybe. It's getting quite dangerous here for him. If I just win let's say I win the queen. Is my queen going to be better than his rooks? I don't think so. Really, I don't think so. His rooks are in a really nice position, so I've got to try and mate him. Mating him probably involves bringing the queen to a better square. And I've exchanged off the rooks, I'm happy with that. I'm going to exchange off something else. Knight d4. Yeah. Knight d4. Well, queen f1 looks good. Patsa sees a check. Patsa plays a check. And then play Knight d4. Try and swap off that last piece. See what happens. What have we been? We've been playing for a while. We've been playing for at least an hour. Yeah, concentration in chess is really important. Don't tell me. I know. It's really, really important. Oh dear, yeah. So in this position, I have to concentrate quite hard not to miss things like he's taking on c6 and then this is hanging. That is definitely not something you want to miss. Oh gosh, this is difficult. You've really got to find a good move in this position. What do you play? He's going to take on c6. Okay. He's going to take on c6. I'd love to get the queens off. So queen f4 looks like, well, I'll suffer the fact that I'm going to lose a pawn to get the queens off. That can't be a bad idea. Okay. Now, rook e3. I'm going to come into the position now. Dangerous move, but I'm going to play g6. The idea being I want to play queen g7 check and bring my pieces in along that diagonal. Knight takes c6, yeah, can't avoid that. And king f7 looks sensible. But knight e5 check, so it's rubbish. I'm just going to go back. That can't be bad. Rook ff3, okay, let's see if he's seen my threat. Queen g7, bring this king to the center of the board and try and win the pawn ending like a professional. I'm not totally sure that even I can stuff that one up. Right, so now his king is running. Let's see where he runs to. Good. Possibly rook d2 was better. I have I got rook d2? Because at the end of it, he takes it. If I play rook d2, he takes it. Oh my goodness. Then I take it, and then he goes rook e8 check. I have to put my queen in the way, and he wins the queen back. Oh, that's horrible. That is horrible. Well, who knew? I've got to be really careful not to just lose, actually. I've got a very dangerous position, but I've got the winning chances with my attack. If I centralize my queen and then play queen c5 check, knight e5, threatening my pawn. I'll defend it, maybe. Yeah, let's defend it. And then play g4. Just get the pass pawns going. Blazero is playing really well. Considering our head-to-head score, you can ignore that. He's playing really well. But he's in trouble. He's in trouble. Okay, bishop f2. This is good. And I don't think I'm in trouble with anything. So let's just play a6. Or maybe c3 actually. c3, and I might have some sneaky threats, but I can save that. a6. Let's see what happens. White is definitely not lost. King d1, yeah. So he's just centralising his king, and I'm tempted to do the same thing, but he plays bishop d4, so I might just play e6 and maybe bring my king into the game via e7. Black cannot get a passed pawn in this position. Can't do it by force, so I can just play h5 and g6. I think that's it. That's it. I've got a friend who's been doing chess tactics 5 a day for the last year or so, and he is now 190 strength. So I think it's a good idea. Rook e2. Okay, how am I going to mate him? His king is trapped on the edge of the board. I could play a4, and I could open up that file. Let's say he ignores it and takes, just plays b4. Then what do I do then? What do I do then? I don't know. I don't know. It's all covered in mud. Yeah. Well, I think the thing is to cover that square first and then play a4 and just open up a bit. And now if I just play rook b8, I suppose he's got bishop d4. If I bring my king to d6, e7 maybe, that's quite a nice square. I've got to find a way to control these squares a bit better. Tricky in 5 minutes. It's tricky to win this in 5 minutes. But I think the idea is to put my rook on the d file. That can't be wrong. So I'm going to move my knight to f5. I'm going to play a4. I'm going to play h5 and see if I'm playing too fast. We'll see. Blazero is in a tricky position. Chess or wilts should be lost in a normal game, but quite hard technically to make this count. But I'm going to play knight f5 and rook d8 and just try and get the rook into the game. Try not to lose my pawn on c4 in the process. I can play c3 actually, maybe next move. Try that. No, what I will do is I will play knight f5 if he lets me, or rook. No, I've got to stop him playing bishop d4 and then c3, which is quite solid. So it's tricky. So king e3. I think knight f5 check is what I want. And oh, he's taken it. Okay, so he's been very kind and taken it. It's given me a bit of an opening. Can I make anything of it? He can go rook b3. Fair enough. Rook b3. Tricky. Tricky. He's covering all the squares he needs to, and I'm not getting in to his position. Not at all. Let's just try that. So king e4, centralizing the king. My king is pretty useless where it is. But now I have rook b8, and then if he goes bishop d4, I take it and go rook takes. I should be able to play that for a win. Let's see. Yeah, I can ignore that and just go g6. So he can't force a passed pawn. Knight takes c4. Oh, I missed that. Bugger. Now I've got a difficult position. Okay. Now I've got a difficult position. If I play rook d8, I can get my pieces onto that file and see what happens. King a3. He's quite helpful. He put himself in a corner. He's got to be very careful here not to be mated just by queen c5. What are we going to do? This is really tricky games. Chess Patzer Wiltshire. I just missed knight takes c4. So if you watch that on the stream, you'll know it wasn't a genius piece of tactic. It was just incompetence. My excuse is tiredness. No, it's not. What good excuse can I find? I'll find one. So this looks fairly straightforward. I'm just going to distract him. He has been so unlucky. So unlucky there. I maintain my humongous record against Blazero. It is defendable, but I just don't think he had enough time to really think it through. Now, do I have time to do anything sensible? Who knows? Just going to take the pawns. Take the opposition, put the kings opposite each other. And he's resigned. That's good. Well done. Good game. Just going to put in the chat, chessengland.com. So, this is the position against Wiltshire. And actually now I'm not totally sure it is 1. 4 pawns against 5. So I'm doing all right, but I'm doing all right. I'd rather have more pieces. Okay. King f7 and rook d5 check maybe. Is that not all right? That's okay. And then rook d5 check, kick him away. And then maybe put my... Do I care if he exchanges off rooks? No, probably not. So I'm probably going to put my rook here or here and just try and swap off a minor piece, after which, preferably his bishop, after which I might be able to win a pawn or two here. It'd be difficult if I take it off at the wrong time, because he can just push these pawns and they're very strong. Perpetual stalemate. Why have you banned yourself? Curious. That's just power for the sake of power. We played a very good game. Maybe that's why you've banned yourself. King f4. Okay, so this can't be... I must stop saying that. This can't be bad. This can't be bad. Because it's starting to sound a bit like a cliche. So knight e5 check. Do I care? If I play rook h1, bishop g3, yeah, I can play knight e5 check. No, I'm going to move my king, and then I can play rook d2. If he moves his knight, I can go rook d2. Be nice to play e5 check, but I don't think he's going to let me. Oh, I forgot to see whether or not Guy in the Box lives in London. Did you say Guy in the Box? Do you live within shouting distance of London? King e5. Well, king e5. I can repeat moves and see what happens, but I should really try and win with bishop. No, I've got to play rook f1 and then try and win those pawns. Let's try it. Yeah, Blazerow was fantastic. Well done. I think it was quite a hard position. It's one of those positions where you can make moves for quite a while and something gives. You just have to be very careful. And I think you were probably fine because my king is equally exposed with back rank tic-tacs. Now what's happening? Is he trying to mate me with knight, bishop and king? I wouldn't be surprised. Run away. And if he plays knight d6, I'm quite happy about that. I can take it and then I can try and win his pawn on g5 and maybe I've got a passed pawn. A couple of passed pawns even. So now he's really going for it. Difficult now. Very difficult. Yeah, thanks very much, Blazerow. We will do. I'll try not to lose this one. It'd be it's difficult not to, actually. If I just go rook e1 check, king f4. Can he do more than just go for a draw? Don't know. Difficult. Now, if this were this I don't know if I'm winning it. I could just go for a draw. It's probably a respectable result. But technically, I should be winning it. If I were a decent player, if I were sort of grandmaster level, I'm sure I would be winning it. But I'm not totally sure about this time control. We'll see. Thanks very much, Blazerow. We will do more simuls. If you're watching this and you're not following me, click on the follow button. Go to youtube.com/Adam Raoof or pretty much anything /Adam Raoof. You can offer me a draw. Chess Patzer Wiltshire. I don't know if I saw it. I may have just moved without even looking. But make a move and it should be, but it's harder. Simul complete. Well done. Now the reason I took a draw in that position was because I'm not totally convinced that I can win this. But well done. I think we played a really interesting middle game. I think possibly I've lost control of it here. You've got a lovely active king and you've got these pawns and very active minor pieces. I am not totally convinced that I'm winning this. If you put it on a machine and it tells you that you're winning, that's an absolute mile away from actually winning it in practice. So thanks ever so much for the game. I'm really pleased about that. Thank you, Percy. Fantastic. Follow me on Twitch. Charging my own pawns would look nice, but they're just holding me up. And I've got these weak pawns here, and it's just really not looking great. Thank you very much for playing in the simul. I think it was a success. I would definitely do it again, just for chess patzes, and see how we get on. You know, that took a couple of hours to, maybe an hour and 3/4, to finish the simul against 9 players, decent games. And I think I would do it again. Yeah, Guy in box, I agree. The only way to find out about these positions is to stick them on a computer and play them out against the computer. That's good practice. Right now, I'm quite happy with the last game and it being a draw, because I've got a history of being stuffed by Chespatzer Wiltshire, who's a very good player. Well done. Yes, I'm sure it does. If I were a computer cheat, then that would definitely be my assessment too. But thanks. I'm really happy with that result. So next time we play, I'll have white and I'll try and win. Like I said, chessengland.com. I haven't got anything this weekend, but I have got a blitz, first Thursday blitz every month. You can have a look at first Thursday blitz, and it's 10 minutes each, which is really good because it's kind of halfway between blitz and rapid play. And I reckon you'd enjoy it. If you like this kind of chess, you'd probably quite enjoy that. 10 minutes is a very respectable time control. One thing I do want to say, on this calendar, I have put, during the World Championship, I have put the Ginger GM London Chess Festival, which is taking place at the Plough. If you like Simon Williams, and I do, go to chessfestival.co.uk and make a point of going along to at least one of these days when you get free commentary live in the pub called the Plough, which is the home of Drunken Knights Chess Club, round the corner from the World Championship and round the corner from the British Museum. So you can have culture and you can have chess and you can have alcohol, all in the same square mile, all on the same day, and completely free, actually, completely free, which is awesome, as Simon Williams is awesome. What's my next event? Apart from the Blitz, I've got Golders Green coming up on the 15th of the 13th of October. Here we go. We've got a new section. So we've got 6 sections now. So come along. Unfortunately, Simon's not doling out free alcohol, although he might buy you a beer if you know him. The pub is, well, if you imagine how many people could turn up there, it'll be interesting to see whether it can fit in the crowds. If we have crowds at a chess event, I would be ever so pleased. Ever so pleased. It would be lovely to have crowds at that event. But don't forget, they have an upstairs room and they have a downstairs room. And I'm sure with Simon commentating, it'll be full. But let's do it. Guy in box is from Edinburgh. Oh, good. I love Edinburgh. So I'll be there at Christmas. But yeah, it's quite hard to find a cheap way to come from Edinburgh to London, except maybe the megabus. If you can put up with the megabus, is dirt cheap. If you can put up with that, that's the cheapest way. I know somebody who goes to Scotland quite a lot by megabus. Well, I'm planning to go. This is a good point. In November, I will tell you now. November, during the World Championship, I'm planning to go and visit. I've got a tournament on the 10th of November, so I might skip that. I've got a tournament on the 11th, and on the 12th, I should have a match to play. I 13th, I'm organising a tournament, so I'm definitely going to go on the 14th, 15th, or 16th, and maybe at the weekend, 17th and 18th, depending on what happens. There's loads of time, but one of those days, maybe the 14th, the Wednesday. Yeah, I have travelled, but not on. I've travelled on the sleeper when it was really cheap. Used to be able to get last-minute tickets, and I've been to Scotland quite a few times on the sleeper. But look up that coach company. You get really cheap coaches, megabus, something ridiculous. And if you're coming to London, come on the 14th, 15th, or 16th, and let us all know when you're coming, and maybe we can go there as a group. Chess Patzers. All right. Thanks very much for playing. I really enjoyed this. We're definitely going to do this again. And if you want to know when, I'll try and put it on my calendar on chessengland.com. But thanks ever so much for watching, and see you online very soon. Bye bye.